I'm still muted? Okay, so now we're not muted. Anyhow, welcome back. We can't take away the earth that belongs, or the sun that belongs to the flat earth. We're going to keep it there because we found where they park it. Welcome back. The Optiplex off the table made a simple error on that one. Today's culprit has been in the works for a little bit, but let's take a look. Did I hit my own camera? I might have. Alright, we're getting another magic arm for up there. That's too much. Too much. Anyhow, this is an HP Compaq Pro 6300 small form factor that has a little bit of corrosion, has a little bend in the case. We're going to make that open up nicely at some point. This was on stream previously. I don't want to waste a lot of time, and I didn't adjust the cameras, but that's fine. We're going to switch over to the Super Sony. Look at that. That distortion on the camera. That barreled look. I think I have that setting turned off. I need to fix it. Alright, that being said, let's get moving. We need to extract this motherboard out of here. I guess we could leave those plugged in, huh? This thing just beeps, but as we found out, we used this power supply in another HP computer that has a very proprietary power supply, much like this one. It had these same, that's it, you get 3 plugs coming from the power supply, and then your SATA power comes off of your motherboard. Let's see if we can get this out of here in a reasonable amount of time. We don't have much time left, but I think we might be able to do something with this. As we know, this one does not turn on, but we have a solution. If you saw the thumbnail, then you saw it. Let me close that. Okay, we do have a live control room. Is that blurry as hell, or is that just me? Let's lock the focus. I'm gonna spring eventually. I just gotta save for a while, but I'm gonna spring for, like, I think a really decent lens that will get rid of a lot of this color fringing. Alright, put the Phillips away. We need a specific Torx. Let's find out which one it is. And it's not you. We'll go down 1 in size. Alright, kitty, lend a hand. We'll let you be in this stream. I hope those screws holding that processor heatsink It does have a fan blowing on it, but there's like no direct contact. Is that airflow just as good? Well, we hope so. Hopefully this person on eBay didn't see us coming from like 100 miles away like suckers. Of course I'll sell you one motherboard. Works perfectly. Psych. Take two. I'll give you two for the price of one. Of course they could have seen us coming. Hopefully that's not the case. I want to have faith that there's decent people out there selling stuff that are not junk. This computer is going to be helping somebody out, so there's any hope it's not straight garbage, and I think the processor does. I think the processor does hold the board in. So we have to loosen these. I thought it would be just the back plate, but apparently this CPU cooler screws into the standoffs in the back of this, or the bottom or back, depending how you orientate this case. It looks like it's one that's meant to be set flat, as it has 0 feet on it. One more. And then we'll check. There we go. Okay, wow. So all the thermal paste is stuck to our cooler, almost to the point where we can read our processor. I don't care about a protective plate. This board's dead. If somebody wants to buy it for parts, it's all yours. Okay, so let's take a look at our, yeah, not what I wanted. Unlock the focus, dummy. Okay, what CPU do we have here? I'm trying to let it show. Catching light glare isn't easy. So it is Core i5-3470, 3.2 gigahertz. That's what? i5-3470, that's a 3rd gen Intel. Still usable in today's world, I would say. Is that a safe assumption that it's still going to work in 2019? Would you use 3rd gen Intel in 2019? I guess that's the real question. I don't blame you. I do. I personally use a 3rd gen Intel system at home that I game on. When I do game, which is rare, but the fact still remains that I can play games on it, and fairly recent ones. Alright. What do we do? Do we move the clunky tower out of the way for a moment? Sure, why not? Okay, so let's get our light back on so we can see what the H we're doing. We got our processor. Here is the board that we pulled out with the RAM in, and here is our much cleaner replacement. It looks like a direct replacement. Let's check the back I/O. I'm gonna say that's solid. What's that? Is that DisplayPort? That's not even HDMI, that's DisplayPort. Or well, is that HDMI? Don't look like that. HDMI has a flat plug, don't it? It does. I was going to say, if you bend that, you could almost stuff an HDMI cable in there. But no, DisplayPort has the little U shape in the center. If we can get that little U shape with the DisplayPort. Alright, so continue on. Let's get a CPU in that socket before we bend some pins. For anyone that's never done this, we'll take a moment and do it. I tend to talk a lot and waste a lot of time, but sorry about the color fringing. When installing a CPU in a socket, you will undoubtedly, come on, focus already, don't be a dummy. you will notice cutouts, little key marks in your CPU. Align them with the socket the way that they go. So on this one, they're actually here and here, so that right the way that we have them. Place your processor in there and set it down gently. Go ahead and lock it in. We're going to clean that off and apply some new thermal compound. I suppose we'll wait for that. We'll get this back in the case. Kind of anxious to see if this will boot. I really hope it will. Like, as far as I could tell, it was the motherboard. Every bit of research I did, we couldn't even get a post out of it. Suspected either power supply or motherboard. We got the opportunity to test the power supply, and it proved that it was good. It powered a full-size tower, not a small form factor. Now, would I have ran that power supply in that tower indefinitely? No. Most certainly not. And then we need to clean our friend here. All that dead thermal compound. This thing looks like it could use a alcohol pressure wash. It's got a lot. This was in the house of a smoker. You're right, I did that this morning. I was sitting chain smoking right by that CPU cooler. 2 packs I put through that today. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so new board. Let's move our RAM over. See what RAM we do have. So we got 2 gigs of DDR3. They had them slotted into the black. I'm going to check the actual DIMMs to see where they were installed, if they have markings on. Give me a map of the memory, people. DIMM 1, DIMM 4. So DIMM 1 and DIMM 3 is how they had it. So that would be what your standard dual channel setup, not the asynchronous. I forget the name of it. I don't know proper terms. I don't speech it right very often, but I do sometimes get results. Alright, real quick, I want to take another look at the board. It looks like we have our jumper on there where it's supposed to be. Other than that, I'm looking to see what else do we need to migrate from. Our cooler there, our switch is intact. Everything looks good. Let's get the case up here and get this board installed and see if it is going to post for us. Keep in mind too, we did this with it does have a back plate, just not the back plate. Not the back plate I was thinking. Sorry, I'm dying there. Frog in the throat. Not the back plate I was thinking. It looks like this whole thing needs ripped down and a good scrub. We're going to clean the fans and everything. Right now we're just seeing if the eBay seller saw us coming from 200 miles away. It's very likely they did. Alright, we have all our wires. I suppose we should start with get the I/O in place. That does not remind me of fitting at all. It does fit, but it's so far misaligned. Let's take a second look. Is there something that isn't lining up, or is? That's just the way it's going to be. So what I'm going to do, I refuse to believe that those screws came out of there that crooked. What is in the way here? Let's try that. Did the case bend when I picked it up? I've had that happen. Indeed, it might have a little. Alright, much better. We have some alignment. I'm going to throw a few screws in where it is aligned. We'll put one there. Loosen that up for the time being. What's going on, man? There's Frank. Alright. With those two screws holding this in place, we should now be able to put on some thermal paste and squash our cooler on there. You picking up a phone here, or? Oh, you got another one of them, huh? Yeah, they're not bad phones, man.
No, I'll tell you, Liz loves hers. So.
Not bad at all. I mean, if a kid that's had the top of the line phones may not be happy with it, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
It does just about everything you want it to do, but the fingerprint, all the.
Yeah, they're not a slouch by any means.
Now maybe you can buy them actually.
What is that? The E4? Is that the E4 or E5? E5. We're talking about the Moto E5. It's not the newest Moto out, but it's not a bad phone either.
$35 excellent.
Alright, now where am I? We didn't contact the thermal paste yet. That sets it away from everything. And it's not okay, there's the way it goes. It was. Let's see if you can see that quickly. Running out of time, but when you put this on, you have this cutaway. And then you also have this block here. Although it will mount, I don't think it's going to actually fully mount, because once you start threading it down, it's going to be sitting right on top of these electrolytic capacitors. So turn it the other way where you have a cutout and it goes around all those components. It will fit in there a little better. I'm going to thread these down a little bit at a time. Let's go all the way. We may have to back them off a little to get the rest of the case screws in, hopefully not. Hey Brandon, I seen the comment there. If you're on my Facebook, I can't reply back in chat. You got to go to the Facebook for what do I want to call it? To the Facebook for dtcomputers and electronics, the shop's actual Facebook page. Because it's read only for the chat with my personal channel. And then here's where we running into a slight issue. Are you gonna go? Indeed it did. Alright, a few more. 2. I guess that's a couple, not a few. And we'll start plugging everything back in. Do we have any, hey, mics are hot, Dave. Do we have any SSDs on the way or no? Alright, I'm just wondering, we could use 1 or 2 or 10 or 100. I wish we had a place to buy them in bulk. You know what I mean? Like 100 at a clip for a decent price, not where they're trying to like take you for all you're worth. All right, we got the CPU fan plugged in. We also have, well, we need to route this wire back over under the holder, and we can start plugging all these connectors back in right here under the ROM. They are color coded, so we should have no issues. We got blue, green, and yellow. There's the cutout. That has to be audio, going by the cutout on it. Alright, so we have our front panel USB, our front panel audio, we have our SATA cables. If they're labeled, we're going to plug into SATA 0 for the hard drive. Right, so this will go to SATA 0. We'll put that one there. We have one cable powering in this. It's one cable powering the optical drive. It runs down from the optical drive to the hard drive and then to the SATA ports on the motherboard, or the SATA power on the motherboard. Here's the SATA data and then SATA power. This wire typically comes from the power supply. However, with, like I said, this proprietary power supply that comes in these, you're missing a whole bunch of stuff. You basically get your power to your board, you get your 12-volt rail, and then you have a few of this other cable. I don't even know what. You have a 4-pin, a 6-pin, and it's another 6-pin that you're only using 4 out of 6 wires on. So it's very, very proprietary in nature. But we'll go ahead and get this plugged in. And see if we can post this to OBS. One there, and then we have one more connector that we need to plug in. Up here by the CPU, so this would be our 12-volt rail, I'm guessing, being that it's so close to the CPU, but I could be wrong. Alright, we have that. We've got 4 gigs of RAM. Our optical drive is in. Let's sync this down and see. We're not pinching any cables. And there we go. One more time. We do have SATA. We have data and power to the hard drive, so that should be all good on that note. Now, will it go to OBS? We're going to use our DisplayPort HDMI connector to get it into OBS. Let's look for our DisplayPort connector. We need power. What else do we need? We'll pull an Ethernet line for now. What time is it? Yep, it's clock's winding up. We're about to go to the day job at night. All right, we have Ethernet. We have internet. We have our video. We need power. We're going to plug in a wireless mouse and keyboard. Alright. Wireless keyboard with trackpad and mouse. They both share the same dongle. We're going to go to USB 2 for that. It is an old USB 2 device. 3 should work just the same, but I'm going for 2. And then just to be safe, we're going to plug in our USB 2 keyboard. Older computer BIOSes for some reason, they don't like recognizing. Some do, some don't. They don't like recognizing the dongle for the wireless mouse and keyboard. They don't see it all the time. Some do, some don't. It's kind of a mixed bag, a goofy affair as to which ones will see it and which ones won't. All right. Alright, and let's plug our wired keyboard in just as our backup if it doesn't get it. And we'll flip over to OBS, black screen, but you should hear me. And let's plug power into the computer. And where's our power button? If we get a post, that would be amazing. What is F10 for setup? Let's take and reset our source in OBS just in case it didn't grab it. Nothing yet. Alright, we'll flip back over. Computer stays on. We're going to power down and pull our battery. Yeah, we're definitely spun up right there. Let's get the power out. So what was beeping there? Did you hear that beeping?
Yeah, I did.
Sounds like the power supply lost power, but it faded out because it couldn't it couldn't keep up that beeping. All right, let's find out. We pulled the battery back to our repair screen. Well, it's definitely not. Woo!
Talking to you now, huh?
It is talking to me. That was a nice loud beep. Let's go to device default, deactivate, activate. It may not want to display over the display port. That's fine. Very quickly, I'm going to send it up to our KVM monitor just because it's a little quicker and easier. I always do try to send it to OBS, but you can't see what's going on always. Sometimes you have to activate it, reactivate it. And oh my, no, they didn't. We need to contact that seller because there's a setup password on the motherboard. I didn't see nothing in his ad that there was a that these boards were password locked. Yeah, if he did that, that's a dirty person. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I'll take care of it right now.
Yeah, we'll just go see, like, contact him, check the ad to make sure he didn't have it like last line at the last of the page, but I didn't see it, that he was sending boards that were set up password locked. Right now I'm going to take a moment and go Google real quick while I have like 2 minutes left. HP Compaq Pro 6300 SFF setup password default. a green button setting it on either 1 or 2. Yeah, that's not. That's a CMOS reset as well. What are they doing? Why? Are you checking that ad? Huh? It doesn't say nothing about it, does it? That they need a setup password. Or maybe he sent something to us. But if both of them are like that, I'm gonna be a little upset with that, man. That's see, this is that crap that happens. And I'm not saying it don't happen everywhere online, but it's real popular that you get not what's advertised from eBay. eBay used to be a wonderland back in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, but now, I mean, you can still get good stuff there, but it's really a mixed bag. So hopefully what we're seeing here, I wish I could show you on OBS. I mean, people could claim that just making it up. You're right, I am making this shit up for my health because it's good fun. All right, let's check it. Let's go to repair. Yep. We'll try and activate, deactivate it again. Device default. Let's do custom. What are most BIOSes? 800 by 600. We'll try that. We'll hit OK. Nope. Nope, can't show you, sorry. It just it refuses to just, you know what? Let's check the cam link and make sure it's getting an output. Indeed it is, it just refuses to show it. We will check our one other one. Nothing there either. So we gotta go, sorry. Unfortunately this one just won't display to OBS. It's gotta go to the KVM. No dice or what? That there's a setup password?
Yeah.
Let me look at this. Setup password. Default setup password. Alright, so we're popping through a forum. Let's go to the solution.
What's that setup?
It's, as soon as you power it on, it says enter setup password. On all DC7 Elite and Pro. Oh, okay. That's what you... Hold on. I'm going to remove this. Let me power off and remove it. So we'll remove the jumper. I guess this is a password jumper. Let's, see, that's something I didn't know. I doubt it, but... What do you do? Just pull it off. Power on, and then we'll power it back down.
Oh, it's a jumper.
Allegedly. So...
I haven't seen nothing.
Yeah, you don't see them too often on boards, you know? I'm gonna try and pick this up without shorting anything out. Success for today. And that was right there, I believe. I'm gonna have to take a closer look. Gonna run out of time for today, but we'll attempt it. Let's see what happens now that the jumper's back in place. Do we get a readout on our screen? Oh, the computer's actually booting to Windows.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. It went past that. I mean, I may not be able to get into the BIOS setup, but you know what? What do we need to do that for?
99.4% out of 1800.
So he has a good score. Alright, so he wasn't selling us something that we couldn't work nothing with. We'll try and... I'm not going to display this yet until I see who previously owned this tower. I don't want to throw somebody's name up there, but we are getting Windows attempting to boot. But it won't... It's not like keeping its display. It's really weird. Please wait. Let's see whose name it is. If there's a name, maybe it's something generic like owner or user. Alright, so let's hit the keyboard and see if we get a name. Do you know this person's name? You don't have to say it out. Do you know this guy? You gotta read it. I'm not gonna say it. You don't know? Alright, well, we'll do a data backup on it. It's got a pin. Yeah. But we are getting a display. Let me do this. I'm going to switch over to my PC repair and enable my black screen. I don't know where it is, but give me a moment. I'll look and we'll show you that it actually is displaying. So I just have to enable. I think it's where I need it. Oh, my mouse battery's dying and nothing's working at the end of the day. Okay, so if it's there, you know what, we'll just go for it. If you see part of this guy's name, I guess you do. Let's send it out to OBS. I just don't understand why it won't grab it. And we'll try one more desperate move. Well, no dice today, but we do have a readout on it, just to show you. And we got a working computer, and then I gotta dip out of here. Oh yes, I'm gonna be late. So let's go to the bird cam. Is it gonna come up? It did. Okay, so boom. So right there is our working computer now. It boots right up to Windows. We don't have the pin of who owned it, so sadly we're going to have to reinstall Windows on it, but it can definitely be done. But we have a working computer now. This is going to go to benefit somebody that doesn't actually have a whole lot of money. I guess somebody kind of local.
Just local.
Local.
Oh, local.
Yeah, the person that's getting this actual HP desktop tower. Don't forget to check out the DT Computers and Electronics Facebook. We do have a contest going. If you get work done here in the months of September and October, your name gets signed up for a computer. We're giving away 2 computers. We're also giving away a $50 gift card of the winner's choosing. How you can win that gift card is the fall giveaway post about us giving away the computers. Like and share it on Facebook, and your name goes into the drawing for the gift card. Anyhow, thank you. Have a good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Certainly, it has to be one of those wherever you are on this great grand flat earth. Just kidding. It's round. But yeah, enjoy it. If these are your things, your hobby, your passion, your interest, like it, share it. Like this, share this video, get it out there. Thank you for tuning in, hang out, getting your hands dirty with me. It's Friday. We'll be back again Monday. If you check out the podcast on Sundays, 2 thumbs up, thank you. And I will see you then if you are a live stream podcast listener. Have a good weekend, people, and thank you.